What's your thoughts, guys? We're saying that robotics and AI is still in its infancy, but to be honest with you, behind the scenes, things are going on fast. And I think what it is, one of the things like I also do some training for some youngsters. And one of the things that I've actually asked them to do, we've created a like a robot, yeah, using very basic technology to be able to do it. Yeah. Do you understand? So we have to, I think, to be honest, if you look at what we're seeing right now, I think we need to start being innovators and creators because what the world is crying out for now is not if AI is going to take over the world. It has already. Yeah. It's what solutions can you provide with this new industrial revolution? And if we're going to sit on the top, then we're going to start saying, it's here. So what can I create that can help people? I think Greg mentioned it before. What can I help that can make that a million people would love? Yeah, and it works. You can see they're talking about housekeeping, babysitting, even nurses, even drivers, even carriers, the whole thing. There's nothing I don't think they're thinking about that they're replacing, yeah, or complementing, shall we say, complementing. I know that there's going to be a lot of loss of jobs, but also there's going to be a lot of creation of opportunity.
New jobs.
Yeah, opportunity. I'll say opportunity. Yeah, because the new jobs that are created are like the old job, but they're being enhanced. That those people now know how to use AI to increase their productivity on a new job. So if you're an accountant, yeah, they don't need 10 accountants anymore. They may need just five accountants, but those five accountants they have are those that are using AI to complement what they do and to increase their productivity. Everything's about increased productivity now. Yeah, that's what I would say. So I don't know. Do you want to say something, Joe? You wanted to say something like that?
Yeah, I'm playing devil's advocate
Yeah,
in these
yeah, yeah.
circumstances. They're too, it is wonderful. In Japan, in China, they're more advanced than we are.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, in Japan and China, they're more advanced.
Mm.
In robotics monitor the underground pollution, policing, etc. But with Internet of Things, with network and everything else, comes the challenges of security because Internet things use wireless system. Yeah. Um, the robotics use wireless systems and network.
Mhm.
How do we protect those issues?
But
Those
but but Joe,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Hence, sorry. Hence, security, cyber security is and data is a skill set. Your kids, you should be gearing your kids to enhance. These um, technology, this AI has already um,
yeah,
infiltrated
c-
NASA and space
yeah,
technology
yeah,
already.
yeah, yeah.
It hacked into it.
But Joe,
Yeah.
but Joe,
So
just
let me just finish. So as well as there is beautiful, I think we also should talk about what Greg said, talk about the vulnerability of this new technology and how we should cope with that. And all these new technologies, yes, they're fine, but we should also talk about what
yeah.
skills do we need to protect those new technology we're developing.
But Joe, what you're saying there, you're saying that this new things are coming out, the technology is coming out, the robotics coming out, the Internet of Things coming out. There's going to be vulnerability in the security, the wireless stuff, and so on. But isn't that what we want to happen? Because isn't that going to create opportunity for us to provide solution? Isn't that going to give us jobs in cybersecurity? Yeah. If there were no vulnerabilities, if there were no security issues, then how is it that cybersecurity as a job or as a business is going to be now up there as one of the
Yeah,
top opportunities.
but the reason why I said that is, yes, you're right. I'm not disagreeing what you're saying,
Yeah.
but the government are not putting resources to gearing us up. One of the biggest challenges is social engineering. They said if you're having a World Cup on social engineering, Nigerian will come number one. We've been in the cup final all the time. Yeah.
What do you mean we cup final?
With
We win the World Cup, mate.
Yeah, we
We're not
went the
cup
World
final.
Cup with AI.
But
With AI,
Joe, I understand what you're saying, but what I think you're failing to understand what I'm saying.
okay.
And one of the things is
I know what you're
no,
saying.
you're saying
No,
that there's going to be all kinds of problems with the event of robotics, Internet of Things, and
that will
wireless.
create
That's
jobs.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But the thing is, without these problems, that means there are no opportunities for us to be in the playground. Yeah. We need more of these problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's no, it's almost like if there's no crime in Nigeria, how do policemen make their money? We don't need policemen. Yeah. But this is all part. The whole point is everything's going online. Everything's on the virtual platform. That means that the crime that used to happen physically is happening virtually. That means people that are learning cybersecurity, that know how to use it, they're going to be in high demand, which means that they're going to make a lot of money in this next period. So what we should be saying is the fields that our children, the fields that we should be focusing on are the fields where there's vulnerabilities in the system, yeah, or the fields where we need to be creative and create solutions that eventually will have vulnerabilities. For me, I would say, okay, let's if we're wrapping this whole show up, yeah, what we do need to know is, are we ready for? Is it firstly we said, is it job job? Is it jobless designed for, jobless by design? Is
Mhm.
it jobless by design? I would say no, it's not jobless by design, but it does lose jobs, yeah. But it also creates
Of
opportunity,
course.
and when it creates that opportunity, it will then create jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the jobs that it creates are different from the ones that are lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
I just
so
wanted to.
that's let me finish. So that's the first thing. Yeah. Now, are we in terms of is the algorithm replacing jobs? As you can see with the robotics there, robotics and all this stuff, this is all algorithms we're playing in there. So yes, it is replacing jobs, but is there going to be a shift in terms of that means that people no longer are doing basic repetitive things, they're now going to be doing things that are actually being complemented by what robots can do. Yeah. So that means that everybody's head, everybody's mindset, everybody's brain set has to move up one level. It's no longer allowed to be lazy at the level of repetitiveness because repetitiveness is being replaced by robotics. Yeah. And then finally, what are we ready? We're ready if we prepare ourselves, if we acknowledge that this thing is real. And then when we acknowledge this thing is real, we're ready if we now take action to go and learn about what we need to do to be able to be at an advantage point when it as this thing is evolving. Yeah, we're ready when we take that knowledge and we apply it and make action. The one thing I'll say, you mentioned the government, yeah, if we wait on the government, we will be last in the queue. Yeah. Microsoft never waited for the government. At one point, guess when Microsoft became big? The government used to listen to Microsoft. Yeah. Oracle, yeah, never waited for the government. It took some genius person to say, we need this. Yeah. Jasan. So what we have to do is this is ground zero. Everybody on this call can be multi-millionaires. In fact, forget about multi-millionaires. This is a billion, trillion. They're gonna what's after trillion? Quadruple. What's it? Billion. I don't know what. Quadruplium business. Everybody, I am so excited right now because guess what? We're all starting from zero. Everybody that's rich can end up being poor. Yeah. Everybody, lots of people that are poor can end up being rich. It's a shift of the paradigm. Yeah. And we can take advantage of it. And the community can be at the forefront, provided they stop digging, putting their head in the
The
sand.
sand.
Because as far as I'm concerned, we're sitting there thinking everything's going to be all right. Let me tell you something. Black community, African community, Indian community, minority community, even the disadvantaged community in the white community. Yeah. Listen, if you don't listen, and if you don't take action, if you don't see this, then guess what? You're not going to be happy with the end result. And you know what? Another thing I'm going to say to everybody, we rely a lot on social security. We rely lots on benefits. We rely lots on pensions. A lot of problems are going to happen. The government will soon not be able to pay those things. Yeah. All they're going to do, and you've seen it happen already, all they're going to do, because they won't tell you they can't pay your pensions. They won't tell you they can't because of the fact that AI has now come and taken all these jobs and so on. They won't tell you that. What they're going to say to you is that they're increasing the age before you can claim your pension. I don't know. I go crazy when I listen to it. Look, I don't know. How can a government increase? You've been working all your life for pension. How can a government increase the age that you claim your pension, which the British government did? Yeah, that's almost like, and people take it, and that's almost like saying we don't have money for you, but we're going to increase it, and hopefully more people will die so that we can afford to pay the few that survive. Yeah. And that there's going to be more of that because obviously with the AI and all these opportunities all these things happening. So, Greg, I'm finished with that. I'm finished ranting. Yeah. Do you want to say anything, or Femi?
No, no, I think I like your philosophy on this one. So carry on, Tony.
Okay, good. Okay, so thanks. So, Femi, do you want to say anything? Bearden, you're in as usual. Eh? Femi,
I'm just listening. At the same time,
Yeah,
quite busy here.
yeah. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, Bearden, yes, yourself.
good evening,
Say that again.
everybody.
Good
Yeah,
evening.
I think I'm okay. It's interesting.
Okay,
I
okay.
agree with what you're saying. It's
Yeah,
just that, wow.
yeah.
I hope our government, like you said, we should not rely on government, but the resources, like, is really crazy. All the necessary things. One needs to put in more effort, but we are not having that enough resources to
Well,
manage those things now. Yeah.
one of the things I say to you is always think positive. Always think positive. When we
Yeah.
talk about not having enough resources, that's talking about more what the government's providing. But there's so much more you as a private individual can do to governments are not business people most of the time. Yeah. Government is the biggest waste of money usually in a country. Because if you think about it, they produce very little. All they do is find ways to tax people so that they can actually spend more. Yeah. Do you understand? So if you think about it, it's happened in Nigeria many times. Look, why is that in Nigeria, and I don't want to be political, why is it generators are always the king of the day? Why? Why is it generators when solar panels has been around for how long? Decades. Yeah. Is it that solar panels are so expensive that generators are cheap? No, 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 no. What it is, it's working in someone's advantage. We don't know whose advantage it's working in. It's working in someone's advantage. But not only is it work, and why is the government not doing something that's working in someone's advantage? Guess what? It's also in the government's advantage. Because if you think about it, everybody has to buy fuel. Everybody has to buy fuel. If you think about it, the fuel is taxed. When they increase the price of the fuel, everyone keeps quiet because they need light. Yeah. So this is all to do, and this is one of the things I said earlier. This is all what we call centralization. this is how everything is controlled through centralization. And this is the biggest fear when we talk about decentralization. Because decentralization, this can't happen. Yeah. But the problem with decentralization, like Greg says, it needs to be monitored. Yeah. It needs to have a way of not monitoring, it has a way of, even though it's accountable, because at the end of the day, there is no, you, a bank doesn't have more accountability than a decentralized blockchain. Because a bank's, when you're talking about banking, you're having your data stored on servers that are owned by banks. Now, what they do with that data and how they make money from that data is entirely up to them. When you're talking about decentralization, all that data is publicly available on the blockchain. And not only is it available on the blockchain, it's not on one machine, it's not on two machines, it's on thousands of machines. The same information is on 1,000 machines. So if you try and change your data on one machine, that's not going to work. Yeah. So that's one of the things. So what we need is we need education on all these things because the government will not educate you on these things because it's not in their interest to do that. So I think that's my say, but I think a lot that we need education. And not only do we need education, we need application of the education. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And okay, go on, Joe.
Yeah, just wanted to add. It's the issue is it's not so much you may think, oh, it's too late for me. I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60. Yeah, I'm 60 and I'm in technology. I've been in technology for 35 years. But the issue is that the next generation, your kids, your nephew, niece, and nephew, how do you direct them to the right economy so that in the next decade they're not poor, they're not struggling? Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
think
That is one of the main challenges. But what Bill Gates said one time, he says because of the power of the internet and computer system and technology, there's nothing you can't learn. Absolutely nothing you cannot learn. Yeah. So it's never too late for you. It's never too late for you to get up to skills and to direct those around you. Small business. I had a brother, deceased brother now. 3 years ago, I said, look, you've got a business. You need to integrate AI into your business. You know what he told me? Is it making money for you yet? I say, I'm just into it now. Then I'm not going to do it. 3 years later or 2 years later, he's using it. Is using AI to do property transaction, legal transaction, financial transaction, banking, accounting, using that in order to advance himself. Instead, he would have to pay a lawyer, an accountant to do that. Now he just put it through the system and is able to automate that process and cut the lawyer out. Go to the doctor, you're having symptoms of the drug they're giving to you, put in AI, and you're able to have some information about your symptoms and your condition. Whereas before we were ignorant. So what I'm saying is it permeates every environment we're in, everything we do in our environment. So it is best to get online. It is best to have that philosophy to influence those around you to get on that, or we'll be left behind.
Yeah.